the day, June 25th, when you got the call, where were you and what went through you?
Being that we didn't go to Staples at 4 o'clock, I was at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. I was having lunch. It was an early lunch, but it was 11:30. And I got a call from a fan. They just served us lunch. I was with a friend. And the fan said, "You know, there's an ambulance in front of Michael's house." I said, "No." She said, "Well, you know, there's an ambulance there." I said, "Okay, let me get off. I'm going to call Michael's assistant." I called Brother Michael. I said, "Is there an ambulance in front of the house?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going from my apartment to the house. There seems to be a problem." I said, "Okay." He said, "But the doctor is with them." I said, "All right, I'm on my way to the house." I had to go to my room, get my car ticket, and I had shorts on. I wanted to put a pair of pants on. As I'm walking, I called Randy Phillips. I said, "Randy, I don't know what's going on, but there's an ambulance at Michael's house. I know you live in Beverly Hills. Go there right now. I'm on my way, but I want you can get there quicker than me." And I hung up. He was at the cleaners. He went right to Michael's house. I got my car, came out. Now, Michael lives up here in Collingwood or whatever it's called. I was driven to his house on many occasions. He would send somebody to pick me up. Sometimes I would follow somebody and I know how to get back. I might have driven there twice on my own. I made the wrong turn.
All those streets there look alike.
They all look alike. So I came from the back. So it took me maybe an extra minute, to find it. Instead of going the right way up, it was like a street off. So I got to there and the gates were wide open and the guards were out there, and I said, "Well, where's the ambulance?" They said they took Michael to the hospital. So I didn't know which hospital. In my mind, I thought it was Cedars-Sinai. I said, "Well, I better call Randy." So I called Randy and I said, "Did you get to the house?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm following the ambulance." I said, "Where are we going, to Cedars?" He said, "No, we're going to UCLA." I said, "Okay, I'm on my way." And again, I didn't really know where that was. Trent called me, Mrs. Jackson's driver. Mrs. Jackson called me. She says, "I heard they took my son to the hospital." I said, "Catherine, they did. Should I come?" I said, "I don't know what's going on yet. Just give me a minute and I'll call you back." Hung up. 3 minutes later, as I'm still driving, her driver called. "Frank, what's going on?" I said, "Trent, I don't know, but tell Catherine to come on. Bring her down here. We're going to UCLA. It's better that she comes." Because I still don't know what's going on. Get to the hospital. I see all the security, hospital security, got everything blocked off, roped off. Nobody's getting in. Randy is waiting for me in the emergency room area where you sit. I come in, I greet him. "What's going on?" He says, "I don't know." He said, "Let's go back." They let us back because they knew who we were. But everybody else had to hold it up. And we got to the little room, and, we heard them working on it. We thought he was alive. The rest happened. But Mrs. Jackson didn't get there for like 40 minutes because they were coming from the valley. I had a wheelchair and a cardiologist and a social worker waiting for her so that she could. I didn't want her walking. I know she had a bad heart. I wanted that cardiologist to oversee her too.
Wow. What is your role with Sony ATV? Did you replace Ramon Bain, or is she still on the board?
No, Ramon Baines isn't on the board. Dr. Kamei is not on the board. I'm on the board of ATV Sony Music. I was put on there by Michael. He put myself on and Joe Katz, who was his attorney at the time. It was the guy that he signed a letter of engagement with. to bring him on as his counsel. So he wanted us both on the board because we were getting ready to have conversations with ATV Sony to look into the expenditures and so on and so forth.
Do you work for AEG?
Never have. I don't now.
Okay.
Michael Jackson hired me. Michael Jackson was to pay me. AEG was to advance the money to pay me. At this point, I haven't been paid. I will be paid, because we got to work this out. But I'm not on the payroll of AEG.
Are you in good terms with the family and the estate?
I think I'm in good terms with both. I'm sure there's some people at the family that like me and don't like me, but most of the younger generation like me, and they respect me, and they understand the work I did for their uncle. And the estate respects me, and I feel they like me, and I'm hoping that one day they'll want to work with me.
Well, I can tell you that all the presidents of the fan clubs that I've spoken with, Australia, China, Portugal, Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, Germany, England, they told me that I have to tell you thanks for being there for Michael.
It was very kind of them, and it's not a thing where I need thanks. He was a person that I loved and I respected. He was my friend. Some people view him as just being my client. He wasn't my client. He was my friend.
Well, they look up to you all the way from Thriller on, and they only wanted to know if there is anything that you could say to Michael's fans.
Just keep being his fans and keep supporting us, because we're going to make this legacy live forever, and we're going to try to do everything we can to make anything that comes out with Michael's name on it in a tasteful way. Because right now we're doing it for the children. We're doing it, as Michael says, but LOVE.
Frank, thanks for everything.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.